Hello, welcome to the 66th Think Tank. Tonight we're going to be talking about nice things that you can give to your players in a game. One very nice thing you could do for us is to hit the subscribe button. We love that. So I'm just going to pass on to Chris very quickly, who's going to do the check-ins, and then we'll be getting on with the meeting. Chris.
Thanks, Pat. So yeah, check-ins where we find out about our weeks, how people been doing and things like that. So let's start with Emily, who's hiding at the back there.
Oh. Hi, my week has been starting to get really heavily pregnant. And felt in as my last craft fair before Baby Mageddon happens. So I have my last craft fair until October this weekend. So it's all kind of felt in and try and get everything organised for that.
Brilliant. It sounds busy and good, and I'm not sure you can suddenly become heavily pregnant, but presumably there must be a tipping point.
It suddenly pops out.
Yeah, we weren't expecting it, but it sort of went from flat stomach to about here over there.
Brilliant. Okay, Pat, well, how's your week been?
I have been at work all week. Yeah, that's about it. I've been doing a bit of kind of notes in the margins whenever I get a spare moment, but unfortunately nothing concrete. Yeah. So.
Work all round then.
Work all round, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least you're getting paid, so that's good. Josh.
Work, and more work. It's been a very long week because we've had a 4-day week last week and now we've had a 5-day week this week, and it's just dragged and dragged and dragged. But such is life, I suppose. In other news, I can partially announce that I am now working on a 66 adventure rather than a full campaign. Details to be fully announced soon. Oh, this bodes well for me doing the main part of the meeting, no? Alright, seriously though. Yeah, otherwise, can't complain too much because weather's picking up and it's no longer freezing in the warehouse.
Yes, yeah, the nicer weather is a bonus. And Q, nicer weather means I've come down with a really shitty cold and I am just full of snot. You are really grateful this is a virtual meeting because I am just oozing bacteria at the moment. It's spraying out in every direction. So yeah, I'm just Mr. Snot at the moment. So that's been pretty much my week. So that's our chickens for the week. Let's move on to Josh, who's got our main topic for the night.
Nice things to your party, because sometimes, just sometimes, we've had enough of the grimdark. So, just going to find the view running order. I've lost it. We'll start with Chris's idea, which I believe, can't find it, is a cat in a tree.
Sorry. Oh dear.
Yes. I must admit, I did sort of pander to what's the sweetest, gentlest, pointless, most thing I can think of, and I thought of a cat in a tree. And so basically what happens is the characters are marching through the wilderness. They're on a long hike from one bit of a quest to another bit of a quest, and they're hiking along. They come across this strange scene. At the edge of a steep ravine, they spot a group of cats. They look like domestic cats, but they're scaled up. They're about twice the size of a normal sized cat, and most of these cats are right on the edge of a ravine, and the players stand there for a moment looking at it, and then they realise that one of the cats is actually hanging off the edge of the ravine and the other cats are holding on to it. So it's clear they're cooperating and they've got a certain level of intelligence. And then one of the cats spots the characters. The cats all sort of pull the cat who's hanging off the edge back up, and all the cats sort of turn to watch the characters very warily, as cats do. But slowly the characters can approach, and when they approach and things like that, one of the cats speaks, just startling the players. and it's a highly sibilant version of the common tongue. And obviously the players and the cats chat. And the characters are told that a kitten has fallen off the edge of a cliff, but has got stuck in a tree growing out of the cliff face. Now it's 100 foot or more down to the bottom of a ravine, but the kitten is only about 10 feet from the top. But the cats have no way of reaching the kitten, so they obviously ask the characters to help. So the rescue is easy. I mean, it's a kitten stuck in a tree. It's not a difficult quest here. So the characters rescue the kitten and reunite it with its mother. And then, of course, the entire clan of these cats will be purring and rubbing against the characters' legs, very grateful of the characters' help, and the cats will provide useful information to the characters about information on the road. And they even accompany the characters for a couple of days on their journey. The cats are always great company, they're cats after all, but they are also excellent scouts and guards, so the characters get to really relax for a couple of days, rejuvenate themselves, refresh themselves, so that when they part company with the cats, they're fresh to push on to whatever hideous events next awaits them.
This is just going to lead to a story of how Dave the Barbarian fell down the cliff trying to rescue a cat. Because there's such thing as a crit fail. But no, that's a nice little simple one. It's a great way to break up the monotony of your characters travel from A to B. Nothing happens. Occasionally it rains. You may have to stay in a cave for a few hours. Who's on watch this night? Who's on watch that night?
Yeah, it breaks up the routine, yes, and it's also something completely unexpected, I think I liked about it, and I like to, it's like you've been a long-running TV series where they just suddenly do like an episode which is sort of almost out of context, and just like completely different tone, and then rejoin the dark and nasty stuff.
Just imagine, just going to have the DM staring at the players, and they're just going to start talking to this cat, and suddenly the cat's going to answer back. What? But I believe Pat has something to say on the subject of spirits.
I think someone's muted.
I think his microphone's gone.
Very quiet, Pat and M. No shouting into the microphone won't work. Okay.
Oh, Google Hangouts. You used to be so good. What happened, man?
Nope. Are they now frozen?
I can still see them. They're still moving.
Completely frozen from my point of view. Right, well, I'm sure Pat will drop back in at some point when technology allows.
Pat, drop it into the chat, and we can discuss it from there.
No, it's completely frozen at my end.
No, it's still moving here.
Alright.
Yeah,
the universe,
I swear, ever since this thing updated, it's just gone worse,
It's Schrodinger's Pat. One universe he's alive and one he's dead.
Hey, say, they could be spirit cats and reappear later. They could indeed. I quite like that idea, actually. Say you need to escape down an alleyway and you're being pursued by, say, guards of some king who wants your head. Suddenly these cats appear, you're like, oh, I recognise those cats, and they lead you down an alleyway you might not have thought about.
Yeah, I mean, you could make them a lot more magical than I sort of made them. I did wonder about sort of making them a variety of Rakshasa.
They're the backwards-handed tiger people, aren't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
Who in the original AD&D book had this wonderful illustration of the Rakshasa wearing a smoking jacket with a cigarette. It was absolutely brilliant, and I always loved those monsters. But yeah, if you had sort of magical cats, so that possibly they could turn up at various points. Or it did occur to me this whole thing about 9 lives and cats. Maybe now the young kitten owes a life to one of the characters, and that there's some sort of magical thing which allows this to happen, so a character can get one rescue,
One free res.
Yes, yeah, one free res, yes.
Or the poor kitten just has to die because of... No. That's something Emily would come out with.
No, everybody lives.
This one time, just once, in this whole meeting, these are nice things. We're going to have no bad circumstances, no bad consequences. They're going to be good things. We're going to have a nice night.
Patanem, are you back? Oh!
Hey!
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yay!
It turns out that my the webcam has a microphone in it, which tries to mute the other microphone, even though I'm not using the microphone in the webcam. That's what happened, so it's fixed now.
So it's two microphones fighting a battle.
Yeah.
Isn't technology wonderful?
They're a terrible trap.
So yeah, we thought your idea was great, Pat. So we've just discussed it. So yeah, so that's rescuing a cat in a tree.
Oh, one last thing. What if it's a deity testing the players?
Oh.
I mean, so they say, "Oh, it's a cat down a tree," and one we ain't got time for this, so screw away. Ooh,
A cat god powerful beyond imagination,
like that one there.
called Maru, who appears obsessed with box idiocy.
Okay, yeah, let's move on. Go to the running orders. To Emily. I believe you had an idea, which I think I can find it. Oh.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll put it on here. Sorry, just reading the notes. Yes, Sister Evangeline and her sisters. The characters are going through the wilderness or anywhere about, and they've faced horrors on their trip. They've faced ungodly things, and they find a monastery full of nuns. And it's unclear what religion they are, but they're run by Sister Evangeline and all her minor sisters, and it's nice. They offer you bedding. They offer you beds, food, and rest. Doesn't matter if your parties are evil or lying, no matter who you are, they will offer you somewhere to stay the night. And your characters will regain any wounds they've lost. They will have the most peaceful night they've ever had. A night without nightmares, dreams, just a perfect night's sleep. And one of the bonuses that is the nuns sing at night. And let me find it. Yeah, a song that heals all wounds. And if a player should happen to sneak down to see the sisters sing, they'd actually gain a bonus to all their good actions for the next few days until they do something considered evil. Which happened in my campaign to probably one of the most immoral characters.
Yes, I remember this. You threw this at us just after lots and lots of demon attacks. So my character, being extra paranoid at the best of times, is now like, yeah, I'm just going to keep watching the door, and I'm not going to pay attention to anything that happens in this till the next morning. Thanks for that. Otherwise, this is quite a good idea.
Try something nice. It's when people are expecting something horrible.
They get too paranoid to accept a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's where the GM needs to come in. Is that they should. The GM, you can signal things, the metagamer to things, and you want to get the player to relax, and gain advantage from it. You need to give them know that nice things do happen sometimes.
Might be worth hinting to the players when they first come in, say, there'll be a mass at midnight. Everyone's free to go. That way the players don't immediately go, no, I'm just going to rest here for the night. And I'm going to ignore everything that happens, as I did.
Now what happens if you tell them there's going to be a mass at midnight, they decide they're going to rob the nuns while they're all at mass. That's what players do.
I was just thinking that my players would naturally assume that the mass at midnight was going to be some devil worshipping and sacrificial moment, and then thinking that that's the timing they've got to stick to. Yeah, I mean, as to say, as sort of Pat put in the comments, is that there is a certain holy grail about this. It was what immediately sprung into my mind.
We are all young ladies between the ages of 16 and 24.
No, we're stopping that right now. We'll be here all meeting, quoting Monty Python. It has so. If I remember rightly, it is divine intervention. If I remember rightly, at least in your game, it was actually some form of angel.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Bizarrely enough, it was an actual reformed demon.
Mm.
Yes, reformed.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that. So, do we say it's safe to move on?
Safe.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll move on to my idea, the crystal lizards. So, while the party are adventuring in a large cavern filled with unspeakable horrors and unfathomable monsters from beyond comprehension, the players emerge into a large cave, and inside the cave are small lizard-like creatures with crystal growths all over their backs. Upon entering the cave, the lizards will immediately hide, and after a few moments they will emerge and slowly start making their way towards the party. If the party initiate any type of negative, aggressive actions, then the lizards will flee or not come out again until they're gone. If the party show them attention, then the lizards will get closer and closer till they're in fussing range, at which point they start acting like cats and dogs, wanting attention to be played with. If the party spend roughly an hour with them, then the crystal's radiation provide them with a bonus for the rest of the day. It's just a way for the players to catch a breather. Say there's too much grim dark in this dungeon, particularly. It'd be like, I imagine this is a high-end dungeon. Something where you're going to have things throwing debuffs and buffs at you left, right, and centre. Then suddenly you've got these little lizards. You can play with them. Hell, you can even roll for throwing the ball. Chris, you want to know how they can survive?
If they're in a dungeon with lots of gribbly monsters, why is no one eating the lizards? And my immediate thought was because they're really, really dangerous, and actually, if they want to fight, they can just slaughter anything they like. But they don't need to fight, so they go and be around around people.
The kind of thing where if you push them the wrong way, they'll just slaughter the entire party.
Yeah, you could have it. You just sort of like, the players are there and playing with these lizards, and then a gang of orcs runs in, and one of these tiny little cute lizards just turns around and breathes 18d6 worth of fireball at these orcs, and then just turns back and has his tummy rubbed.
Oh, it's Kea Banog all over again, isn't it? No more Monty Python. I did say that. Pat, can you tame them? When you say this.
Yeah, I was just wondering, are they tameable? Because you could use them oppressively.
Oppressively?
Yes. Like, you have your own little lizards, you could breed them. Could you then, send them out on your enemies? Like a little attack dogs.
Counter-attack.
You'd probably have to start them at lowish level then, and then as you get experience and train them, they would get more and more powerful. And the only problem would be their diet being the crystals around the cave. That's how they got their crystalline bodies. So you may have to learn how to produce crystal or something to that effect. But I actually quite like the idea of taming them. It hadn't actually occurred to me.
Like Pokemon.
Like Pokemon, indeed. Chris, charming.
Yes, it occurred to me that the whole thing about taming them and being friendly is that maybe they have a magical ability. Maybe they can magically charm people, but they're nice. They don't take advantage of it other than, getting a bit of attention and, maybe a few treats off the party. But yeah, then they're sort of like, be really nice. If you could use them offensively then. You breathe them up, and then, so you go to some evil baron's castle and then just tip them in, and just let them go and charm and defend all the nasty orcs.
Oh, it'd be like rust monsters. You send them out there against a party. Is that table rust? No. It's a question for another think tank.
Emily doesn't like rust monsters.
Who doesn't like rust monsters? No way. Either way, yeah, I like the idea of just giving one of these baby lizards to the enemy baron as a gift and say, yeah, treat it well, otherwise it will kill you.
I think actually I'm going to nick the idea for my the campaign I'm running at the moment, which is the post-apocalypse world with all these different things from different worlds. And I want to, just pet lizards. I mean, they're just like cats, but they're really friendly. And I just want the party to come along and go, oh, we could take them back to our camp for all the kids to have pets. And it'll just be a nice touch.
Little things. Oh. Yeah. Anyone else got any other ideas before I move on? No? Okay. So I'll move on to Pat, who is going to stand in for Jay. Have you got any cheesecake?
Have I got any cheesecake? I have some of Jay's cheesecake. Let me just get Jay's cheesecake. Jay, while travelling, your party suffers a vicious storm that disrupts their camp and sleep. Tired, the next morning you continue on your way. As you enter the next valley, you spot a small castle with a faraway curtain wall. Getting closer, they see the interior of the fort to be a beautiful garden. The garden fort is the work of the local baron. He founded an order of lesser knights to protect the rare plants and herbs in the valley. Not druids, these men-at-arms are simply expert gardeners as well as guardians. The Knight Commander will welcome the party to the garden fort and offer full hospitality. While the Order of the Garden will not leave the valley to aid the players, they will happily provide supplies and martial training. The serene beauty of the gardens is an excellent place for the party to relax and perhaps gain some spiritual understanding. Should they wish, the players may help with working the garden for the gratitude of their hosts. So basically, it's a nice garden where you can go and meet some nice people who garden.
I can't imagine the bad things that will happen if you do anything to harm any plants. Chris, English.
Yeah, I just immediately sprung to mind that this wouldn't just be a garden. This would be a classic English laid out formal garden, and populated by people with outrageously English accents. Probably right from the sort of like the Lord, who's obviously going to be really, really posh, down to the gruff gardeners who obviously have Yorkshire accents because they always do. And just like you invite the party in, come and have tea on the lawn and things like that, and just really, play up the Englishness. Cucumber sandwiches.
Hey, the creator of this game has got these little hoops and this little hat mallet.
Yeah.
Play with us.
Chris, how many pretty little flowers will grow in your English country garden?
Lots.
Oh, so people are quoting songs now, have we? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, obviously it's Jay's idea, so I can't really say for what he wanted. I was thinking about, if it's got all kinds of plants, are any of them carnivorous plants?
Yeah, what if there's an assassin vine just hiding in there?
A carnivore meadow.
We have this little ward-off section. Only the bravest or stupidest of knights go in there. Maybe both.
You could twist it. Maybe actually they do grow herbs and stuff and send them out, and they are world experts on poisons. But they don't care about where they're sending them. Someone orders a poisonous plant, they send it, because obviously anyone who wants a poisonous plant must be interested in gardening, not in killing people. And so the party come in and discover this, and then, what do we do? Destroy the garden, or...
Oh, but they've been so nice to us.
Yeah.
We don't want to kill them. We just want to tell them that they're wrong. Maybe stop sending out, like, the Mandragora, or the Gimpy tree.
Yes, no longer accept any orders from the Assassin's Guild.
Then how would they know if that's the Assassin's Guild? They've been working under a different name, I suppose, aren't they?
I love the idea of going and finally meeting the thing that you've been chasing all the while, and it turning out to be. It's like there's an episode. I don't know why this suddenly struck in my head, but there's a Justice League comic where they go inside the mind of the Joker, and right like deep down in the middle of it, there's just a little living room, and he's just watching TV with his wife, and he's just a simple guy. And I just like the idea. So yeah. So these knights are guarding this trove of poisonous plants, and when you get there, it's like, oh, do you want to look around our garden?
It's just, then leads to the question: how dangerous are the knights? If suddenly it's just this little group of squadron of lesser knights protecting this little garden, just somewhere in the middle of the kingdom, hasn't fallen to any enemies. Just how dangerous are these people?
But it could be like the home guard.
That's the army.
You know it's dangerous. So every one of those grizzled knights who just won't die in combat. It's like, I'm sick of this. Right, go play gardening. So you now just got this entire garrison of the hardest knights in the kingdom. That's why it's never fallen.
Or like the film Red.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking that they just rely on that idea. Like, they're not actually particularly good at being knights. They're in this garden, but every so often, like, a huge barbarian horde will come up. They'll be stood on the hill overlooking it, and there's only 6 of them.
Yeah, it's all bluff.
Must be some kind of trap. It's turn around, run away.
Then leaves the question: do the druids get jealous that these simple knights are so good at their garden?
No, stop! It's meant to be a nice thing. No, tonight's meant to be nice encounters, and we're perverting them. Jay had a lovely idea of a beautiful garden where people could rest and have sandwiches.
Druids are about nature as nature. Garden.
See, I'm struggling with this game, and Pat wouldn't let me make a Troll 2 reference to this whole garden thing.
Okay, let's put it back to being nice. Basically, it's just a garden where the players can sit and relax and have a spot of tea.
I do.
It's one of those brown signs you see on the motorway, tourist attraction. So if you can just pull off and have a cup of tea. It's just a rest stop on a journey, isn't it? Cup of tea, ice bun, little bit walk around the gardens, and then carry on with your journey.
It's also a place that any of the players can go to at a later time, say using teleportation spells. Right, screw this, I've had enough, I'm going to go and have a rest. Let's go back to that garden and hang out and get that tree.
You could have it like as a spell, just summons a garden, a lovely garden.
Maybe the knights are the only ones who have that spell, and that's where you can learn it.
I was wondering actually about, you get the magical shops which will only appear for a day.
Yeah.
In different cities, and when this garden randomly appears places for a day, so it's fabled throughout time and universes.
Kind of like Tales of a Floating Vagabond. I believe the role-playing system. So there's this pub that makes everything. Very strange system. That. Okay, and with that, I believe I'm to move on to Mark. When I say Mark, he's currently ill. Bless him. Let's hope he gets better soon. Hermit houses. A king whose land bordered a harsh wasteland and steep mountains was bothered by the number of travellers who died trying to reach his realm. He called upon his subjects for ideas, and they came to him with plans for way stations and patrols. In practice, however, it was quite difficult to raise the taxes and recruit the people needed to support them. I mean, let's face it, it was difficult enough to get there. How dangerous are these wastelands? Anyway, the king instead accepted the advice of a local wizard who automated the work with magic. He created huts with eagle wings and goat legs that would patrol the dangerous lands looking for people in need of shelter and supplies. Eagle wings meant that they could search from the air over the desert, and goat legs meant they could climb the mountains. Each hut carries food, water, medicines, and are capable of housing 10 people. Travellers could summon them using signals on the ground or by magic. Otherwise, the huts can find people on their own and provide for them, even when unconscious. I can't read that. The huts on Faust's legs with Baymax's personality, essentially. Ah, right, there we go. Got that now.
Oh, I like that idea. Yeah, it's one of those sort of magical shelters, but it actually carries you places as well.
Can you imagine the first time the party see that? It's just got this massive house of goat legs just towards them. What the hell is that?
What's the Russian myth? Baba Yaga?
Yeah, Baba Yaga had something like that.
Baba Yaga, yes.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
No. Oh, Emily, really? Go on, be mean.
Just saying, you could have obviously a Baba Yaga hut disguising itself as one of these hermit huts to trap players. But I know we have to be nice.
Like the cuckoo in the nest sort of thing, yeah.
Worst
That's a
part
plot
I
hook
had
there.
in the game was just a lovely little cottage, and if you went inside, you died. 2 players went in there.
Oh yeah, I've killed 2 players in a Baba Yaga's cottage as well on the Cthulhu game because it's in Orient Express box set. But yeah, but these are nice. These are nice. We're being nice to players.
Yes, I know. No.
There's a lovely pie inside, a lovely nice pie that's not too hot and still nice, so and the ice cream's there, and the ice cream's not melted yet. That's me being nice.
Can you choose what food to have, or is it just pre-stocked? I imagine there's going to be some sentient magic in there that allows them, say, maybe read the minds of the adventurers, and the adventurer goes, "Oh, I want this food." You know?
They're sort of like St. Bernard dogs, really, aren't they? You know, they help wayward travellers, and they sort of run up and provide alcohol.
How does a house know when to go back to its original destination? Does it have to be full? If say nobody wants to travel back to the city for a good long time, you and your party are just stuck in this house, travelling across the desert and across the mountains, just trapped in this house, going, I want to get off. All right, sorry, that's being mean again. Pat, you thinking of turning one into a pub?
Why not? It's a pub that runs up to you.
Yeah, it's a travelling pub. You can have your adventures meet there, and then they're just dropped off somewhere else. They go to have their big grand adventure, and it's take them somewhere different.
Yeah, it could be their base.
No. It comes to you while you're on the adventure. So you book it. Like you say, oh yeah, we're going to be at a dangerous ravine on the 23rd, and so you get to that, you do your days of adventuring, and then you come out and there's a pub there, and then you go in and you spend the night in the pub and things like that. Next day it gets up and wanders on.
It's the travel lodge that travels with you.
So, I mean, the summoning ritual.
Nice things, Emily.
So, I mean, the summoning ritual for imagine, say the ritual for the normal one involves sort of spilling a pint of water onto the ground with some other magic mumbo jumbo. One for the pub is just pint. One more alcohol.
Other sleeping chains are available.
So could you buy these, do you think? I mean, how expensive would they be? I mean, you've got a sentient house for all intents and purposes. I think that's the right phrase to use, but that'd be expensive.
I mean, it'd be bloody expensive, but also what about the problem when you don't need it? Like, you're going into the city. I mean, what are you going to do with a giant pub on legs as you sort of go into the... Or for that matter, why you actually go in the dungeon?
Yeah, because if you try and put it down anywhere near a city, you'll need to pay for planning permission.
I suppose there's a way for the party to earn money. They just plonk it down and go, here, give us some silver, we'll provide you some beer.
I mean, you could run a campaign. It'd be rather odd. It's like, you know, at first level, the characters end up with this pub, and it's like the luggage, you know, Pratchett's luggage. It's bonded. They can't get rid of it. So actually, their entire life is dominated by trying to cope with having a pub, you know, follow them around. So yeah, they set up business and actually, you know, run it as a pub for a while, and then something happens. You know, the orcs invade and they have to get out. You're taking the pub with them.
Your pub.
Yeah.
There go all your stealth checks for the next 20 levels.
I like the idea of a pub being kind of needy. So, like, you go into the town, you have to meet somebody, and the pub's at the window.
Maybe, just maybe, if you go to another pub and order a drink there, by the time you get back to your pub, the alcohol was slightly watered down. Because it didn't like
I wish I had a campaign going at the moment which was silly enough to allow this.
Yeah, I know. My players aren't silly players, and silly campaigns don't last long at the best of times. But yeah, I'd love to do some silly shit like this.
The worst thing is this. I imagine my group doing this and loving it. I may have to like pose this to them, say, look, if you can quest and get these all components and gold together, I will let you have a travelling pub. You can call it the whatever, you know, it's your choice. It's your pub.
It just occurred to me that actually, bizarrely, the pub will be a metaphor for pregnancy. Or to having children, because if a player sort of like comes along unexpectedly and then they can't get rid of it for 18 years and it completely dominates their life, all their plans have to be around the pub.
Is this you giving your concerns to me and Pat?
I can't imagine why it sprung to mind.
I don't know, Chris. Not doing too involved with yourself. I mean, last time, what was it? We had that, the NPC and the boss encounter. And you said, we got this tree that shoots its seeds everywhere.
Oh, yes.
This totally isn't an allegory for sexual intercourse. Okay, in the wise words of Monty Python, stop that, it's getting silly.
Yes.
I think we'll quickly move on to... Yes. On the actual running order, I don't believe there's anything else, but I do want to just quickly mention one that Pat's put at the right bottom.
Yeah, you have an adventure. It's set up as a horror game. Something's breaking into houses and along the street, and you go out with your monster hunting friends and you track it down. You work out its roots. You corner it on a rooftop, and it turns out to be Santa. And it gives you presents.
The Jolly Roger.
Yeah, it would work really well if you've got sort of like the Monster of the Week style campaign, where just, you're doing a different monster with mystery every week, and then one week it's just something nice. Yeah, it's Santa Claus.
One episode is a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I actually did that in a game of Call of Cthulhu.
A man in red.
Yeah.
How do you summon him? Or say his name 3 times and jingle some bells.
In the campaign, I had to save Santa Claus's life once. I was a superhero campaign, and Santa Claus was effectively a superhero, and he got shot down by the Russians, so we had to go and rescue him.
Oh, that was similar to my idea. When we had that Christmas-themed Thinkthank a few years ago, and whatever months back, it's like, Cold War during Christmas because the Russians shot down Santa, or at least that's what the papers are saying. It's up to the players to find out who actually shot him down to stop the world of nuclear annihilation before Boxing Day. But yeah. Okay, I think with that, it's getting on a bit, so we'll now pass on. I think it's Pat to the pluses and deltas.
Oh yes, pluses and deltas. So, this is the part where we say what we liked and what we delted. First of all, I'm going to go from left to right. So, Chris, what was your plus and what was your delta? Go.
My plus was, it was nice most of the time. And then we could actually laugh and joke and be silly and things like that. And I think it's just nice to be nice occasionally. It breaks up the monotony of evil. And my delta is got to be I am full of snot, and I'm really not well.
Well, yeah, that's a very good delta. But I have to say, if you find evil monotonous, then you have no imagination.
That's mean.
No.
I'm just older than you, Pat.
Fair enough. Josh, what were your pluses, and conversely, what were your deltas?
Pluses, great subject. It's nice that we have one whole session where Emily doesn't completely and utterly break us in some fashion. Deltas, can't really think of any, to be honest. Maybe if we had one more person, perhaps. Yeah, Mark was ill. It'd be nice to have Mark with us, but if he's ill, he's ill. Nothing we can do about that. I think as me and Chris were discussing earlier, he's brought back some form of, well, horrible disease. We'll leave it at that. Or it could just be jet lag. Who knows? Yeah.
Both are bad. I actually, when I saw the word have a nice thing for your adventurers, I did wonder if Chris had done that just so that he could sleep tonight. With Emily's suggestion. So Emily, what are your pluses and what are your deltas?
My pluses, really fun meeting. Yeah, it was good to have something we could like chill with. Lots of fun, lots of giggles. My delta is I had to be nice, and I could think of loads of horrible ways to twist all these ideas, and I wasn't allowed. So yeah, and just I guess a feeling that I'm just turning into the Wicked Witch.
If I see these Tuesday, I'm going to cry.
Okay, finally, Patrick, what were your pluses and deltas? Well, Patrick, I have to say I liked the atmosphere tonight. I thought it was very fun, just having a bit of a chat, a bit of a giggle, not being quite so formal with everything. Delta has to be that I have no campaign running at the moment that I can put a giant affable animated pub in. Because I think that's just such a wonderful idea.
I was just thinking on that thing. What if it meets another pub? Like, do they like stand up like cats, or do they get a bit too friendly?
Is that the literal definition of pub brawl?
Well, more. I was thinking about if two pubs meet, they're presumably going to mate, and I was just thinking, well, how do they have drunken sex in the pub car park?
do they have like a bar?
Who produce those little bars that people have in their houses?
Yeah, like mini bars. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for the pluses and deltas, and Emily can't stop laughing. So, hand off to Josh for the final sign-off.
Okay. If you've enjoyed this session, as silly as it has been, and it has been very, very silly, feel free to subscribe. Press the little subscribe button right down there. We'll put a link up on the 6D6 blog where you can catch up on every bit of news 6D6 and some interesting articles written by our members. I've been Josh Radford, joined with Patrick and Emily King and the head honcho, Chris Tregenza. We hope you've had a good time. Good night.